Hello everyone, how's it going? Hope summer's treating you well. We just got back from Andorra where we attended the World Cup, and ever since we came back I kept thinking that I gotta share this with you folks because it's so much fun, such a unique experience. So here's our journey to Andorra for the World Cup downhill and cross country, and the few unreleased products were things that I noticed on the racers during our stay there. There's no airport in Andorra, so we rented a car in Barcelona and we drove up 3 hours and quite a few tunnels, and we made it to Andorra la Vella, a very popular destination for shoppers because of their tax-free, but once a year in summer is definitely a popular destination for mountain bikers, not only for their Val Nord bike park, but also for Commencal that has the headquarters here. And that's exactly where we went. First thing, we made it into Andorra. Tons and tons of bikes, new and old, and pretty much everything they do. But we discovered on the backside a little history room that was quite amazing because it showed pretty much all the bikes since their inception in 2000 when Max Commencal started the company, all the way to today. And you can see famous bikes like the ones ridden by Miriam Nicole Pom Pom, or later the Athertons. And talking about Pom Pom, we did actually meet her. We talked to Miriam and also Loris Vergier. So for us as fans, it was an absolute amazing opportunity. And talking about the racing, if you show up early in the week, what you end up seeing is probably not just the qualifying, but also the practice runs. This is a time when everybody's a bit more relaxed. So if you want to talk to the athletes, that would be probably a golden opportunity to do so. We talked to G. Atherton, we stopped by the Norco booth, and we talked to the GOAT, you know who I'm talking about. And overall, we got to take a look at the teams, their setup, the bikes, and the different bits and pieces that they brought to the table that most of the time are not necessarily what you and me would run on our bikes. No, we didn't get to talk to Jackson Goldstone. However, we had the chance to take a closer look at his bike. He's using a standard Shimano lever, but that is not a standard caliper from Shimano. It's probably going to be the next generation Saint brakes. On the cross-country side, it was interesting to see Evie Reacher's bike on display, but then in the race, you could see clearly that she's using wide spoke wheels, meaning bird spokes. Trek, at least officially, is not sponsored by them right now. Victoria tires and inserts were on display as well. However, the racers were using mezcals like the ones I reviewed in the back. And up front, a new version, a different version of mezcal or a different compound. Looking forward to finding out more about that, hopefully soon. But enough with the spy shots. We were here for the racing, and it officially starts for elites on Friday with the XCC or short track. The plateau at 1600 meters offers a great experience for spectators, as you can see most of the track right from the base. We were able to see the athletes on track again, observe their kit, their drivetrains, and see them up close in person before the racing started. Also, time to catch up with some of my YouTube followers. Appreciate your support. Women go first, and as usual, they start super fast. It always amazes me that they can maintain that rhythm continuously for 20 minutes. It's an absolute sprint, and this time it came with a surprise winner. Alexander Keller climbing back to the top of the podium as her first victory in 2025. Evie Richards, that dominated the short track courses this year, only came in second, but it was an exciting battle up until the end. Shortly after the women's racing is the men's racing. They use the same course, the same 20 minutes, usually one extra lap. People were cheering really loudly, not only for the start where everybody's exciting, but mostly for local racers. Think about the French racers, think about Nino, think about Yolanda, and you can see their names popping up in the cheering all along the race. It was a bit of a surprise race. It was Luca Martin, the French, beating Blevins on a sprint finish, something that Blevins has done quite a few times this year. At the end of this, we managed to go over to the downhill side and check out the qualifying. That was the second part of the qualifying, the bottom 10 men or 5 women. And we got to preview the location a little bit, if nothing else, and also see some of the legends of the sport. Here's Max Commencal next to Greg Minard. What about Ben Cathro? You guys know him from Pink Bike. What about LoveMTB? Yeah, he's right there with G Atherton. So that got us all excited about Saturday. And the day started with the potential of heavy downpours, but we got lucky and we could go up all the way up the mountain with the same chair that racers used. Starting for downhill was at 2,364 meters, and we got to see the ladies warming up. And as the race started, we slowly came down the mountain towards the finish area. It's pretty spectacular to see their speed, especially when negotiating corners or jumps or drops. As we made our way down the mountain, yes, we did see Gracie and Valley Hall and Tani. And then the boys started. And yes, they go fast. Really, really fast given the terrain. They're riding right on the limit. And you can see here Loris Vergier really pinning it in this open section. And then as we descended to the bottom, you could even hear the temperature rising. It was absolutely nuts. And you also had the opportunity to see the entire course on the big screen. And that's where we were when Jackson Goldstone made it on the leader's seat, temporarily at least, because Super Bruni came down right after that and ended up winning the race. Needless to say, the crowd went nuts. They rushed onto the course after the first qualifier fell in his run. But overall, the downhill is really an exceptional experience, a different experience than the cross country or short track.
We got lucky during the race, and then it started to rain out. This was it, guys. Downhill in Andorra.
Unfortunately, time to pack our bags. One last stroll through the amazing Andorra tiny streets and tall buildings, and up the gondola for the last day of racing, the cross-country Olympic that now had some greasy conditions given all the rain overnight. And that made for some really exciting racing. Women's race starting with a bang, and seeing quite a few lead changes given the conditions. Sammy Maxwell, despite the fact that she fell a few times, she also had a flat, she somehow managed to push through and win the race at the end with a little bit of a gap. Quite the performance. Talk about true grit and determination. Time to enjoy some of that giant Andorran paella and get ready for the men's race, because everybody was excited about the local legend Tom Pidcock actually participating in the race. It's his first participation in the 2025 season, and because of that he had to start quite a ways back. Men's race was a bit of an unknown again because Blevins Specialized won quite a few of the last ones. Here you can see them up front at the beginning, but then slowly the French and Tom Pidcock started to come up to the front of the race. For us, it's really exciting to be able to chase the racers around the course. This was an amazing venue for that, and the race was won fairly easily by Pidcock once Luca Martin had a flat somewhere in the middle of the race. So compared to the women's race, this was kind of predictable. But take a look at these views, guys. I mean, this is quite the venue and quite a place to be. And I really hope that one day we can come back and ride bikes here, both cross country and downhill. That would be amazing. So is there a conclusion to this? Well, if you can attend racing at that level, it is fascinating. It's gonna blow your mind. It's always good fun, and I'm curious to hear what you guys think about Andorra. What do you think about World Cup racing? Have you ever had the chance to see these racers up close in person? Let me know in the comments. I hope you liked the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. And until next time, hope to see you folks on the trails. Cheers, guys. Cheers.